Yeah, thinking about like instead of the word climate or sustainability, like what is the actual impact to the humans, to the customers, to the bottom line?
And I think to add to what you're saying here, the language is really important to land, but there's also a lot of reason for optimism about sustainability despite, changes in the administration. Because unfortunately, it's this thing called green hushing where a lot of us are just getting a little quieter about what we're doing. But underneath it, the language of it being tied to impact is really strong still. And so I love this one data point that came out recently. There's this thing called the Carbon Disclosure Project. It is a way for companies all across the world to report their emissions in a standardized way in a standardized database, and then they'll run analysis on it. And one of the things that they saw was that the average size of a company making sustainability commitments was getting smaller. And that's great because like a lot of like I'm at Microsoft, we started in 2020 with our big bang, everything, but we're also a multi-trillion dollar company. But, now the smaller companies, the ones that might have otherwise kind of historically resisted this, are setting their own targets. And that's really optimistic. And one of the reasons why goes to Louisa, what you were saying, which is it's because we're asking them to do it. At my company, we are asking our suppliers, it's like if you don't decarbonize, we're going to have some hard conversations. And then on the other side of it, they're having their own customers come to them and say like, "Hey, I know you're a steakhouse, but you really need to start offering some vegetarian options here." And it's almost like that pincer effect is always putting the value to the business at the front. It's a sneaky way to keep it moving despite kind of these political fears that go, which are very real, by the way. But that's not going to stop the work because the value train has left the station as to why this matters to companies.
I'm hearing more conversations around SF Climate Week this week about fear from activists. And for folks who don't know, I'm actually on a visa from another country. The fear is real. I want to kind of highlight that it is real. But to your point, Charlie, people showing up, using the influence that they have to move the conversation forward, especially if they have the access and ability to do so, can really have a huge, meaningful impact and empower other people to show up. There's value in showing up.